What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another reaction with Keyambri. We're going to be reacting to Mindless Behavior's Unfortunate Demise, the history and the fallout.
Mindless Behavior was an American boy group made up of the four members Prodigy, Princeton, Ray Ray, and Rock Royal. The quartet had a good 3-year run of success with 2 Billboard charting studio albums.
I think I was in I want to say probably middle school when Mindless Behavior first came out. Yeah, I had to be in 6th or 7th grade. I think it was 7th grade. Yeah, but when I remember when they first came out, the first video I ever seen on them was on 106 & Park. It was the My Girl video. So I definitely remember when they first hit the scene. I was heavy on 106 & Park back in the day. I come from that type of era, so I remember when they hit the scene for sure.
A headlining tour, and their very own concert documentary film. In a short period of time, the group of teen boys generated a following of primarily young Black girls, and they even got the opportunity to open.
By the way, let me throw this in there. I wasn't really a Mindless Behavior super fan. Obviously, their music was cool and stuff, but I was a little faster. I liked it grown. You know what I'm saying? I was a fan of Lil Twist and Lil Wayne and stuff like that. I was a fan of Young Money. I didn't really like, the guys that are more so pandering towards my age group. So with the Diggy Simmons, the Jacob Lattimores, of course they were handsome and stuff, but I wasn't really into none of their music or anything like that. I was more so into Young Money, Rick Ross, Kanye West, whoever the older guys that was popping at that time. That's who I was really into. I wasn't really into Mindless Behavior, but I'm well aware of, everything that they had going on and stuff like that.
For some of the biggest music acts in the world, like Justin Bieber, Backstreet Boys, and Janet Jackson. But despite gaining popularity and building a fan base around the world, the group went through a tumultuous period that they were never able to recover from. Members were disappearing, and there were a lot of behind-the-scenes issues. New singers were introduced to replace the missing members, but the damage had already been done, and fans were left disappointed. As a result, Mindless Behavior as a group completely dissolved, and in the years that followed, they started revealing details about things that went on behind the scenes. This is a story about the unfortunate demise of Mindless Behavior.
This is the group parents and children wanted to see. But on Sunday night...
Like I said, I wasn't really hard on Mindless Behavior. I knew about them and shit because obviously everybody in my age group was big-ass fans of Mindless Behavior. But I wasn't that big of a fan of Mindless Behavior. But this song right here, Mrs. Right, nigga, that shit went diamond in my middle school. I promise you, that song went diamond in my middle school. This song was literally the song. That's crazy.
This is what they saw. Hundreds of parents shelled out $45 a ticket to watch an 8-minute show performed by only 3 of the 4 band members, interrupted by multiple power failures.
It was falling apart for a while. It looked so cute on the outside, on the inside.
Excuse me.
Members not getting along. Yeah.
So it was a bunch of made-up stories that came out to you guys, and it made me look like the bad guy, pretty much. Like I said, I was being mistreated in the group. I was being called names, by the camp, people in our camp. Just like I wasn't even no human being, and I was only probably 14, 15 at the time. I wasn't enjoying my career. I was depressed.
But before...
Yeah, that's crazy. I remember when Prodigy... I remember when he did an interview with... I don't know what platform, but I definitely remember years later he had did an interview with a platform on YouTube, and it went super viral, and he was basically just talking about how like he was being mistreated, and he was being like treated the worst out of everybody in the group by management. And yeah, it went super viral. I do remember that. Like, that's crazy. I remember that very vividly.
Boy groups started dying in the mid 2000s, so talent managers were hoping to keep the craze going and cash in on their success. In 2008, Conjunction Entertainment's CEO,
just an honorable mention, I was a big B2K fan. Well, I wasn't a big B2K fan. I was a big Omarion fan. Like, I was a fan of Omarion back in the day, like elementary school days, super, super young.
Walter Millsap III, his longtime friend and partner Keisha Gamble, talent manager and label executive Vincent Herbert, and You Got Served and Step Up choreographer David Scott all collaborated to organize a talent search in Los Angeles to put together America's next big teen R&B boy group. Walter is a music producer and songwriter whose credits range from Brandy's Aphrodisiac to Alicia Keys' Diary album and Beyonce's B-Day. Him and Vince were also managing and working closely with rising star Lady Gaga at the time. Over 600 applicants auditioned, and the kids had to be able to do choreography. They handpicked the three members, Jacob Perez, who they nicknamed Princeton, Crisanto August, nicknamed Rock Royal, and Rayon Lopez, who later became known as Ray Ray. Princeton already had experience in show business as a child model and trained dancer, appearing in television commercials since the age of 4 for Skechers, McDonald's, and Nike, as well as 2 music videos for Gym Class Heroes. He had already worked with choreographer Dave Scott at Debbie Allen's Dance Academy and was asked to audition. Ray was a dancer, a part of Tommy the Clown's crew. And as for Rock, he played football, and it was revealed that he wasn't a good dancer and struggled with the choreography during the audition process.
Rock Royal, he looked the best out of all of them. Like, one thing I can remember in middle school, everybody's go-to person was Rock Royal. It was Rock Royal, Princeton, then Ray Ray, and then Prodigy. But everybody, like, Rock Royal was at the top of everybody's list. Like, he was everybody's favorite boy out of this whole boy group. I remember that.
But he was still chosen for the group, as the main goal was to find a group of local boys who had a unique look to them to form a group. What stood out to me in their 2013 documentary is the fact that there was no mention of their singing abilities by the managers. But we're gonna dive more into that later on in this video. Months later, Craig Crippen, who became known as Prodigy, comes into the picture. He was discovered on YouTube by choreographer Dave Scott. Prodigy was a self-taught dancer from Philly who took interest to dance after watching You Got Served starring B2K.
Okay, now obviously, I think anybody with eyes could see Prodigy was the best dancer. He was the best dancer. He couldn't sing, but he was definitely the best dancer, and you could tell because it looked like whenever they would perform, he had the best stage presence, and you could just tell like he was a dancer.
And ironically, choreographed by Dave himself. Prodigy's family often videotaped him showing off his dance skills along with his singing.
Just don't get it. Did you deserve being heard?
Walter heard him sing.
Like I said, he can't sing. Obviously, none of them can sing, which she even touched on. She said she gonna touch on it later on in the video, but he couldn't sing.
And decided to add him to the group, despite living way across the country. They relocated Prodigy to Southern California without his parents to live with the team and be close to his group mates. Vince, Walter, and Keisha would put the boys through artist development, and the quartet became known as Mindless Behavior. The group was taken under the management of Kenneth Creer, who previously managed music acts like Janet Jackson, Mary Mary, Drew Hill, Nick Carter, and Cisco. They moved into manager Keisha Gamble's home, where they shared the same room to start the artist development process that included exercise, dance lessons, and 8 hours of rehearsal daily. They were homeschooled by the team and was rarely with their families. Each member was...
8 hour of rehearsal every single day? Man, what is this? Boot camp?
Given their own signature look and engineered personas. Ray Ray wore pigtails and a pair of goggles on his head. Princeton wore sunglasses with a curly fro. Rock Royal wore a low ponytail and a Civil War style hat. And Prodigy, who became the principal singer, had a more simple look. He sometimes wore a mohawk and a blonde stripe in his hair. Songwriter Kenneth Nelson started to develop their sound, and now it was time for Mindless Behavior to showcase their talent to the world.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We are Mindless Behavior.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Right now, it's a photo shoot. We just warming up with pictures.
We got 4 different looks. These are our first outfits.
So we just having fun and you can just check us out. I'm hanging out today. All right, peace. All right, y'all. Peace out.
In 2010, Mindless Behavior began recording music, and in spring that year, they started performing at local showcases and participated in a Los Angeles high school tour that helped them build a small fan base around the city. The quartet even made cameo appearances.
The managers, they did a really good job with their outfits and their presentation. Like, they really look like they were a real boy group, but they look like boy groups from like the early 2000s, and this was 2010s, so they did a good job for sure putting them together and stuff.
Appearances as dancers in singer Mashawn's video that summer. They signed a recording contract with Vince Herbert's Streamline label, which was an imprint of Jimmy Iovine's Interscope Records. And before they knew it, they were touring with the Backstreet Boys that summer as an opening act for
My bad, y'all. Camera cut off.
On August 24, 2010, Mindless Behavior released their debut single titled My Girl, and the accompanying music video followed 10 days later.
When you say yes, then I say ditto, and you can hit me back with my girl, she loves me.
That's crazy. This video bringing back so many middle school memories. Like, I literally remember when this song and this video just first hit 106 and Park. Like, everybody literally came back to school the next day talking about it. Like, did you see that boy group? Did you see such and such and such and such? I like them. I think they cute. Da-da-da-da-da. Like, I remember that.
Here we go. Let's roll your tape. Roll playback, please.
Hi, my name is Rock Royal.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Princeton.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Prodigy.
Hey, what's up? It's Ray Ray.
And we are
Mindless Behavior.
First single, My Girl. It's about telling our friends how much my girlfriend loves me because she...
The single didn't make Billboard's Hot 100, but it did far better on the US Hot R&B Hip Hop Songs chart, charting at number 16. The 4 13-year-olds made their television debut on the Today Show to perform the song, and by the end of the year, they were touring with Justin Bieber as the opening act on his My World tour. They even toured overseas with Jason Derulo as his opening act for the second European leg of his tour up until early 2011. The 3 tours helped Mindless Behavior generate buzz among young girls, and they quickly shot to fame. To maintain their relationship with their fans, they often did live.
Why did this footage look so old? That's just crazy how time flies. Like, this is literally from 2011, 12, 2010 to like 16. Like, why does this footage look so old?
Live streams, behind the scenes vlogs on their YouTube channel, and meet and greets. In March 2011, the group released the remix to My Girl featuring Sierra, Lil Twist, and Tyga.
See, I was a fan of Lil Twist. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I like them older. I was a fan of Lil Twist. I wasn't bumping no NB for real. I was listening to Lil Twist.
They started doing high-profile appearances on daytime TV shows like Good Morning America, Kiss FM's Jingle Ball, the BET Awards pre-show, several appearances on 106 and Park, and a performance at the White House Easter egg roll.
I remember this. This was on Sunny with a Chance. I remember when this episode debuted. This was when they was super, super hot, and they started being on like you know how like Disney Channel or Nickelodeon, they have a special guest. That's what this was for sure.
Everybody get on your feet and give it up for
Sunny with the Champs.
Mindless Behavior!
Which was ass, might I add.
Welcome, Mindless Behavior.
It's Mindless Behavior, everybody! Yeah! Mindless Behavior!
Give it up for Mindless Behavior.
Hey, it's just so crazy how, like, and it's crazy because what I'm about to touch on, I think Jermaine Dupri already touched on it like a couple weeks ago, but like the kids today that are in school, whether it's middle school or high school, like they don't have any, like, there's no music for teenagers. Like, there's no artists out or that have been out for like the last decade that have been just strictly for the kids or strictly for teenagers. Now adults and teenagers consume the same music. It didn't used to be like that. Like, we growing up, we used to have boy groups. We used to have artists like Jacob Lattimore, Diggy Simmons, Jawan Harris. Like, those used to be the artists that we could listen to, and it didn't have cursing, it didn't have profanity, it didn't have explicit lyrics. You know, it was very clean and it was very appropriate. Now it just seems like adults and kids, we all consume the same music, which is such a horrible thing. But I just wanted to throw that out there.
Boys are so cute. And I love that you have your own distinctive style. And I want you to know that our 11-year-old little Kev is one of those 8 million people hitting you up and checking you out on YouTube.
They were nominated for the BET Viewers' Choice Award that year for My Girl, and a major moment happened in their career when they became the sole opener for Janet Jackson's Number Ones tour. By the summer, they had gotten their first Billboard charting single with their second single, Mrs. Right, featuring Diggy Simmons.
This shit was hard, I ain't gonna lie.
Travel all across the world just to meet her. Long hair don't care long as your heart's in it.
This was also Diggy Simmons' debut too, because I remember we used to watch Diggy Simmons on Run's house, and we loved Diggy. Like, Diggy was just so handsome and cute. Like, we loved Diggy. Like, this was his debut too. Like, this was the first time we ever heard Diggy rap. We ever seen him bounce back and be hella fly. Like, this was Diggy's big moment too. That's crazy.
The music video was directed by Brett Ratner and features guest appearances by LL Cool J, who played the teacher, and Mike Epps as the school janitor. Mrs. Right peaked at number 8 on the US Hot R&B Hip Hop Songs chart and number 72 overall in the US. Mindless Behavior embarked on BET's Closer to My Dreams 18-city tour with Tyga, Diggy Simmons, Lil Twist, Jawan Harris, and Trevante.
I remember this tour like yesterday because I begged my mom for tickets because I wanted to go see Lil Twist, bro. Oh my God.
Their debut album, Number One Girl, was finally released in the United States in September 2011, debuting at number 7 on the Billboard 200 with over 36,000 copies sold in its first week. They also released 4 different CD covers featuring each of the boys. Prodigy sang most of the vocals, while the other members rapped and provided backing vocals for the album. However, there is a heavy presence of auto-tune on every track.
Yeah, them boys, they're not vocalists. Like, they couldn't sing. Like, it was very obvious. Like, even though Prodigy, he was the main guy doing all the work, he couldn't sing either. Like, it was obvious that they had to use a bunch of autotune. Like, they weren't singers, they were performers. You feel me? It's a difference.
Mindless Behavior.
Now, the Number One Girl, which is out in stores now.
Thank all the fans. Without the fans, there is no Mindless Behavior. Without the fans, there's no sales of the album.
Then Mindless Behavior headlined the popular Scream tour with Diggy, the New Boys, Jacob Lattimore, Hamilton Park, and the OMG Girls. They traveled coast to coast as part of a special back-to-school concert series from late September until November that year. The album's third single, Girls Talkin' 'Bout, was released on November 1st and charted at number 50 on the US Hot R&B hip-hop songs chart. And for the holidays, they also released their song, Christmas with My Girl. Mindless Behavior's success carried on for another year, and the album's fourth and final single, Hello, was released on March 8th, 2012. But the boys would land themselves in a little bit of controversy. They won the Coca-Cola Viewer's Choice Award at the 2012 BET Awards that summer, beating out Beyonce, Drake, Jay-Z, Kanye West, and Miguel. As they were co-presenting the award for Best R&B Artist with Mike Epps, Mike jokingly tried to sing, and Ray responded with a joke about Lauryn Hill's tax situation, for which she went to prison for.
One of y'all's Mr. Dalvin in the group. You? Ooh, yeah! Come on, which one's Mr. Dalvin?
All right, look. You sing bad, like Lauryn Hill tax account bad.
They announced Beyonce as the winner, and during her speech, she thanked Lauryn Hill and her other influences. But an eyewitness...
Let's be real. Somebody gave them that joke and told them to say that, y'all. Like, all of this award shows and all that stuff, like, is scripted. Like, somebody wrote that joke, told them to say that joke. Like, I mean, let's be real. Like, they're kids. Like, come on.
It says that B was visibly upset with the comment when she exited the stage, calling the diss disrespectful and not cool.
All of the talented R&B women that came before me, like Lauryn Hill.
She was hot as fish grease, leaving the stage.
Mindless Behavior issued an apology via their official Twitter account saying, "We meant no harm to our girl Lauryn Hill last night. It was a bad joke. We're big fans and hope you're not mad."
That's sad, because I bet money that they were given that joke and told to say that joke, y'all. I bet it.
The joke was...
There's no way that he came up with that joke and randomly said, like, come on, y'all. Like, all of this stuff is scripted.
Most likely written by one of the show's producers, since BET do have a bad track record for making celebs read distasteful jokes off the teleprompter. Nonetheless, Mindless Behavior didn't seem to lose any support. The group headlined their first and largest US tour. The #1 girl tour started on July 5th and ended on August 18th that year, traveling to 25 cities with Jacob Lattimore, Lil Twist, and Kayla Brianna as opening acts. By this time, the album had sold over 275,000 copies in the United States alone and had racked up more than 142 million views on YouTube. So now it was time to get to work on a sophomore album. But this is where things start to crumble. Mindless Behavior began a small hiatus from performing when the #1 girl tour ended. During this time, they started their own web series called Mindless Behavior Takeover on Awesomeness TV, a YouTube network founded by television and film producer Brian Robbins that focuses on teenage audiences. The group also filmed a movie with Mike Epps titled Bad Behavior, but this project never saw the light of day.
I remember them promoting it.
They got to work on their second album, and this time around, they wanted to focus more on the pop music market instead of urban radio. Vince Herbert told Variety magazine, "With the second album, we are going straight for top 40, spreading the music to other markets. It's just a matter of time before this takes off like a rocket," end quote. On January 19, 2013, the boys performed at the Kids' inaugural concert for children and military families at the Washington Convention Center. And just a few days later, they released the lead single off their sophomore album titled Keep Her on the Low, while the music video premiered on 106
I ain't gonna lie, this
and Park on February 12th.
This was my song, I ain't gonna lie. That's crazy, I remember this. This is my song, I ain't gonna lie.
But the lead single turned out to be a major disappointment commercially, as it failed to debut on any US chart And the performance of the other two singles All Around the World and Used to Be were pretty much the same.
This song, this was lit. The Used to Be song was lit.
The latter was later featured in the Honey 3 Dare to Dance soundtrack. But Mindless Behavior still pushed through and released their long-awaited sophomore album All Around the World on March 12th that year. Just like their first album, they released different CD covers featuring each member in addition to the official cover. The album features guest appearances by Soulja Boy, Jacob Lattimore, and Lil Twist, and a documentary concert film that chronicled the group's quick rise to fame and their #1 girl tour was released in theaters to accompany the album's release. It was shown at 117 AMC theaters nationwide, making on average $4,500 per screen. And the group went on a 12-city marketing tour for both the album and film.
Thank you guys for coming out tonight. You guys are when I count to 3, I want everybody.
They scored their biggest sales week ever with All Around the World, which debuted at number 6 on the Billboard 200 chart with 37,000 copies sold in its first week, a little more than the previous album. But the overall sales failed to match #1 Girl. Mindless Behavior still embarked on their All Around the World 26-city tour that July with the OMG Girls and Coco Jones. But this sophomore album era is when fans started noticing that Prodigy was a little distant from the other members during interviews. Fans also criticized him for getting tattoos, which they took as a sign of rebellion. In September 2013, Prodigy was noticeably absent from performances and appearances, forcing Ray, Rock, and Princeton to lip-sync to his vocals or just dance as the music.
Alright, so we get into the good part. I guess this is when they started having troubles in their group. Now, when all of this was going on in real time, like I said, I wasn't into them like that, so I really wasn't paying attention. So I'm actually learning all this stuff for the first time ever, so
played, since Prodigy was the sole vocalist in the group. In prior performances, Prodigy's mic was usually the only one that was on. Fans who came out to their shows were left disappointed with his unexplained absence.
So we have a report from Seven Health.
Yeah, parents shell out $45 a ticket so their kids can go to a concert at a Millard skating rink.
But their excitement quickly fades to disappointment. KTV News Watch 7's Dave Roberts is on the case tonight. Dave?
It's the largest event ever hosted at Skate Days. But what happened last night at the decades-old skating rink isn't the memory people paid for. This is the group parents and children wanted to see. But on Sunday night, this is what they saw. A News Watch 7 viewer sent me this cell phone video when the boys took to the skating rink floor. The band's name, Mindless Behavior, describes what fans experienced.
I got pushed and I was crying.
One question that is clear, these ladies love the band.
I downloaded all their songs on my phone and I couldn't wait. Like I was telling everybody in my school, like, I'm going to the Mindless Behavior concert. Are you?
Hundreds of parents shelled out $45 a ticket to watch an 8-minute show performed by only 3 of the 4 band members.
Hey, it definitely looked ghetto in there. This does not look well put together at all.
Interrupted by multiple power failures.
The music kept cutting out. Kids were pushing, fighting.
If I would have bought a ticket to the event, I think I would have been upset too.
Skate Day says it had nothing to do with the event.
We were just a venue. It's not our event.
I'm still upset. I want a refund. No one's answering their phone calls.
The promoter and organizer did answer my call.
Mark Williams, my name is Dave Roberts with KTV News Watch 7.
Williams tells me the event was not a concert, but specifically a meet and greet event for fans. He says the band was supposed to perform 8 songs and could not because of power failures.
So what do you say to those parents that might be upset with how this event went?
Williams says he and the band fulfilled the contracted obligation. Still, that's not enough for
Yeah, this looks bad. I'm not gonna lie. This looks ghetto and just horribly put together. And yeah, if you make people pay money regardless of if it's out of your control, if it's power failures or whatever the case may be, and then on top of that, the main person who sings all the songs doesn't show up, like, you have to issue people a refund. Like, come on now.
Said parents and their children who experienced this.
I thought it was going to be fun, but it was not fun.
And so,
like, I get it. Everything can't go according to plan. Sometimes things are just not going to go right. But since it didn't go right, you do have to refund people their money. Like, what? Like, one of the whole members didn't show up and he sings all the songs. You got to refund people.
as of tonight, there is still no indication for those families if they'll get any money back at all. Of course, we'll keep you posted.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Rob, Melissa.
Then in November, Prodigy's mother made the shocking announcement that he would no longer be in the group. Rumors immediately began circling the blogs about Jacob Lattimore being the replacement.
See, now Jacob Lattimore is a real singer. Jacob Lattimore can sing. Like, Jacob Lattimore, I remember when Jacob Lattimore first hit the scene, it was on 106 & Park, and he had that Like 'Em All song with Diggy Simmons. I remember that. Jacob Lattimore is a real singer, a real vocalist.
In an interview with TalkingWithTammy.com, Jacob revealed that the team approached him to be a part of the group multiple times throughout the year, which means they were either looking to add a fifth member to Mindless Behavior, or they were already planning on replacing a current member. By March 2014, the group had welcomed 16-year-old Elijah Johnson as the newest member and lead vocalist of Mindless Behavior. EJ was previously a Kids Bop singer and played young Simba in the Disney Broadway production of The Lion King. Prodigy also started releasing solo music around this time. The group severed ties with Interscope Records that year and signed a new recording contract with Sony Epic and was ready to move forward with live performances and new music. But things just continued to go downhill for the group. In July 2014, a viral video of Rock Royal made its rounds on the internet of him shirtless, brutally assaulting a man who he claims owed him $10.
Okay, I remember this like this was when everybody learned that Rock Royal was really from South Central and he was really with the because I remember when this shit started going viral. This was early on Instagram. This was so early on social media like Instagram and YouTube. I remember.
To make matters worse, Rock posted the video himself to his official Instagram account before the post was taken down. Later in the year, he was accused of stealing record producer Chris Clark's BMW during a studio session and was later arrested for robbery and battery. There were also rumors about his suspected gang activities, so he was dismissed from the group, and this was a bad look for Mindless Behavior as a whole.
Dang, so that's why, because I remember when they were saying the rumor had got started when Rock Royal got kicked out the group, but I never really cared to look into why or what the reason was or what happened, but wow, he had a lot going on. Robbery, stealing people's cars, gang-related activity. Wow, that's crazy.
Prodigy returned to the lineup a month after his firing, to everyone's surprise, and Mindless Behavior continued to do small shows here and there. But Prodigy exited the group again for a final time, and fans were shocked to see a new member named Mike a part of the lineup. Prodigy later revealed the shady reason for his short return. He says management just used him as a placeholder to distract fans and cover up Rock's legal troubles until they could replace him. Prodigy spoke out in a YouTube interview and on Instagram, citing poor management, mistreatment, and being overworked as the reasons for his departure. He also says he simply got tired of singing all the vocals and chose to walk away for the sake of his mental well-being. He also dropped a bombshell revelation about their manager, Keisha Gamble, who they were living with. He says she was disciplining them with a belt. And I have to remind you guys that he was living in California by himself, where all of these things were happening without the supervision of his parents.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. You don't put your hands on nobody's kids. You don't discipline other people's kids, especially not with no belt. Like, what? That's crazy.
I didn't leave the group to pursue a solo career. What happened was I was getting treated bad in the camp. You know, I was being called names. I was being called sociopath, and at one point they tried to turn the guys against me. So it caused jealousy in the group at one point. And so I never wanted to just leave my bros, but being young and being in the industry can be really hard, especially when you in a group. This is why I get bashed, because everyone misunderstood the story because I've never came out with it. So it was a bunch of made-up stories that came out to you guys, and it made me look like the bad guy, pretty much like, forget the guys, I'm gonna go solo, I got this. I was never even thinking like that.
Yeah, because that's definitely the way they made it seem.
You know, like I said, I was being mistreated in the group. I was being called names, you know, by the camp, people in our camp. You know, just like I wasn't even no human being, you know? And I was only like, probably 14, 15 at the time. And like I said, at one point, they turned the guys against me. And, you know, I just couldn't take it no more. I started getting depressed. And then y'all wonder why I never really talked in interviews. I wasn't enjoying my career. I was depressed. And, you know, to the whole world, it looked like Prod just said, forget us, when it was never that at all. And I had to push through that. But I did it because of you guys. I continued to work hard. I'm the only one in the group that was from the East Coast.
Yeah.
My whole family is on the East Coast, and I had to fly all the way to the West Coast to do this group. Yeah. And I stayed with people I didn't even know. I was just trying to learn and know these people.
I understand, bro. That's actually kind of sad that he was going through that, especially when you talk about 14, 15, and 16. Like, at the end of the day, like, he's still a child and he's somebody's child. So that's very sad that he felt like that during his career. And, like, man, that's just messed up, man.
At the time, I didn't know nobody. I didn't know none of the managers. They just brought me to the team. And the reason why I actually left is because, you know, when the documentary came out, you know, the way that whoever edited the documentary, which I think it was Awesomeness TV, they edited it to where my dad got most of the credit, you know. So it was a little jealousy right there with my mom and with my dad. You know, my mom was a little jealous of my dad getting a little more of the credit, you know. But I love my mom and everything. And at the time, I was really depressed. I was really depressed and just wanted to just give everything up. I just said, forget all of it. Like, I'd rather live a regular life than to be treated wrong in this camp. What happened was I was just venting to my mom that night. And since she was a little, you know, jealous of the fact that my dad looked like he had more of the credit on the documentary, you know, it was easier for her to persuade me to leave the group. From there, I was still stuck in the contract with the group, so it was hard to move on. That's why some of the fans, like, you know, have something against me. I think, because when y'all see me, y'all automatically think, like, my childhood, he ruined it. So now, it makes it look like, man, forget Pride, forget this, forget that, because it looked like that to the fans. It looked like I just left you guys. It looked like I left the Mindless family. So y'all can know I'm not like that. Like, we got taken advantage of. And yeah, man, yeah.
Yeah, damn, that's crazy. Prodigy, he seems real down to earth and, like, man, like, being a child star, like, it's gotta be hard. It's gotta be hard, and it definitely takes its toll. I mean, we see it time and time again with all the child stars. Like, it's really unfortunate.
Look at New Edition story. Like, it's always hard doing a group. It's always hard.
Yeah, facts.
Doing a group. I just felt like I just wanted to just give up, because I felt like you guys hated me. Like, I just wanted to just stop everything. Like, I would never be able to just please you guys no more because everybody thinks Prod did this. Prod left the group. He said, forget the guys. He don't like his brothers. He don't like us. I'm just speaking as a human being right now. I felt like quitting because I feel like Team Mindless needs to know that Prodigy did not leave to pursue a solo career and swear he was just going to blow up and be. It was never like that. That's why in interviews I was like, let me fall back, let me let my bros talk, because they had me working my tail off in the studio. I was singing all the lyrics, but I'm not gonna be like, yeah, I sung all the lyrics. That's not me. That's not my character. So I was like, let me fall back, let me let my bros talk, you know, like, cause I was feeling like I'm, you know, I already get enough of attention, you know, just being in front and all of that. Because me having a big heart, I'm like, no, I feel bad. Let me let my bros talk. So I got a big heart. And if I didn't lead a group when I did, you know, I would have lost it. I would have just lost myself. I was losing myself. Like, I didn't even know who I was at one point. And just a couple days ago, I just broke down crying. Like, just, y'all don't understand the pressure. Like, it's really hard being judged by thousands of people who don't really understand the whole situation. So this is stuff that I got to deal with. But Pride is strong. I do it for y'all. I know God got me. My family got me. Close friends. And, yeah, man, I'm just going to keep going. I thank you guys for y'all support.
It was definitely just, it wasn't.
Actually, this is the video that I think it went viral on not TikTok. TikTok wasn't even around. It went viral on Twitter. This was early Twitter. It had went viral, and he was talking about how he was being treated by the managers. Yeah, I remember this.
Good business being handled, and you know, as you get older, you start realizing, like, hold up. It kind of felt like you're just being used in a way. It's like, man, I'm working my butt off, but I feel used. Yeah. Like, okay, of course I was being mistreated. You know, I was a minor. Yeah. You know, so, and they ain't never have kids themselves, so they ain't know how to go about it. Controlling kids. Yeah, they ain't know how to go about it. So if I told things that I had to do in that house, like it, man. Tell us, man. You wanna know? Come on, man. So I was the one that liked sweets in it, right? I like candy. I like donuts and stuff with kid donuts. Yeah. So it was one time. I'm not gonna say her name, but she made me. She had a big old plate, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with a whole bunch of candy around it, and expected me to eat the whole thing at a young age. Wow, wait, hold up. But was dead serious. You had to eat it? I mean, I wasn't going to. But why he told you to eat that, though? That was her way of feeling like, this is how I'm disciplined. So it was just weird. It was way.
So basically, because he liked eating sweets. Hey, that's some black people shit right there. So, oh, you like eating sweets? You want to eat sweets so bad? Here go a whole full plate. Now sit down and eat the whole thing. That's some black people shit right there.
Deeper than that, though. It was some. I'm being nice right now. I'm being nice, but that was just a little something. It was a lot going on. And you don't want to say no names? Can we? I mean, don't you think it's best to say a name? Because now you have people guessing like, okay, is it Keisha? Is it this? Like, who was it? Like now that I'm older, you know, Keisha, she definitely gave us the tools that we needed to become the artists that we are. Yes. But, you know, I would just say back in the house in Compton, when she was, you know.
She had these boys in Compton? Girl, what?
Getting us developed and stuff. It just didn't really know how to really go about.
That to me is shady already, because if you remember in the beginning of the video, they was talking about how these 3 or 4 people had already been in the industry and had worked with multiple artists, and then they wanted to start another group called Mindless Behavior. So, but you're back living in Compton, so you didn't even succeed for real the first time around. Now you finna try it again? That's a red flag for me.
Some things, just not having a kid of her own. Yes. You know, but I forgive her though. You know, I forgive her.
So basically, you said she showed way too much tough love that it even like felt like it was on some.
I just didn't feel welcome in that house. I just felt like an outsider.
You're the lead singer. You do everything in the group. They don't. Is it like do they want you to talk in interviews or something? Or because like I seen Prince talking the whole time.
Yeah, like
he didn't even say not one song. He's speaking all the goddamn interviews. So I'm kind of confused because usually the lead singer speaks for everything. Like
I feel like Princeton, or I could be wrong. I guess Prodigy is about to tell us right now, but I don't know. I feel like Princeton, he had that type of personality. Like from the videos that I've seen, like on Instagram or just like of him, period. Like he just had that outgoing kind of personality. So it doesn't surprise me that Princeton was doing most of the talking. Like he just seemed more of an outgoing person. Prodigy seems more like me, like more chill, more laid back, more introverted, more nonchalant. So, yeah.
Did you hear Marion spoke?
Yeah, man.
The Jacksons, Michael spoke. Temptations, come on, we keep going back, bro. I mean, every lead singer spoke.
They offered me to come back, and I'm thinking it was genuine. So they offered me to come back. I came back. Did like 8 shows with the boys. Yeah, me, Ray, Prince, EJ. You know, we did a few shows, and then after that, I heard, I think it was Kenneth Craig or somebody was saying that it was just, I don't even know what happened after. It was just so weird. It was just unorganized. It was like, okay, now y'all don't want me in the group.
Wait, hold on.
And basically, yeah, so what he's saying is true. Like, they basically used him because he departed the group. Then y'all made him come back as if y'all was finna, you know, rekindle things with him and make it right, da-da-da-da. And now that y'all found another person to replace him, now it's, oh, we don't need you no more? Like, that's kind of shiesty.
They wanted you to come
so they
to tease the fans, or
pretty much,
that makes no sense.
It just pretty much felt like I was used to just do 8 shows so that people could make money.
Did you make money?
Because it would have been weird with just, you know, like, it would just be weird. It would just be weird. So pretty much it was just using me
to get them back.
And that's just the truth.
Did they pay you for those 8 shows? Honestly,
not the amount that we're supposed to get paid. But you know, that's like,
you hear it all the time with these boys group. Like, money be shiesty.
It's like the average group thing, you know, how groups most likely never get paid what they really supposed to get paid until they get older. They start getting smarter. They know how to. They learn to do business. You know, they learn to know how to do business. You know, because it's easy to get taken advantage of in this industry.
Yeah, I got taken advantage of. You definitely did, because, like, they called you to do 8 shows. Like, I'm still lost. Like, they basically, was that because the teaser?
At this point, Mindless Behavior's image was tainted. In early 2015, both Rock Royal, who started going by his real name Santo August, and Ray Ray started releasing solo music, despite Ray still being a part of the group. The new Mindless Behavior lineup began working on new music with different writers and producers, including R. Kelly. Anyway, the production value of their music and videos had severely declined at this point, and the label ended up shelving their 3rd album that year. In September, Ray Ray exited the group due to creative differences and issues with management. He says he hated the direction of the new music and accused Sony executives of sabotaging his solo endeavors. Ray says he landed the lead role on the Netflix drama series The Get Down and another role in the Static Shock series. But the people at Sony interfered with those
That was my show. And he had the lead role?
Opportunities. He went on to allege that the group parted ways with Interscope and Streamline because the label breached their contract by allegedly trying to sign Prodigy as a solo act behind their backs.
So what it was, towards the very end, yes,
because we start to get older. You have to understand, it's like, again, I hate to like be repetitive, but we're from the streets. So all money was good money. You know what I mean? Like, as long as we were doing better than before, it was kind of like that type of thing. And it wasn't until later on in the career did we actually like stop being naive and was like, okay, where's the money? You know, and shit like that. And you know, there was, you got bad people, you got good people in the industry. Yeah, I mean, double both. Yeah. So it was just like one of those things where it was just like bad team, definitely taking advantage. Yes. You know what I mean? Like New Edition. Yeah, like New Edition. Literally, there was so much things behind the scenes that was going on that I think everyone kind of needed a break. The world wasn't ready for it. Yeah. But if y'all were in our shoes, you'll understand. Like, I left, or just like on my behalf. Yeah. So I left literally the day I survived a terrible accident. Cause that was like a wake up call to me. I was like, damn, if I would have died in this moment, I would have been a pissed angel. Because I didn't get to express my form of art. Yeah. I was someone's puppet, someone's idea of a musician. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And that's crazy that he used that word puppet, because going back to the beginning of the video, I mean, they were handpicked and they were literally put into some type of boot camp to literally become what they are. Like, that's kind of crazy when you think about it like that. Like, I'm going to pick these random four boys, I'm going to put them all in the house, and I'm going to make them practice and sing and dance and do nothing 8 hours a day, and then we're going to debut them to the world. That's crazy.
I was saying little shit. I was saying, you know what I mean, just the facades and the fraudulent, you know, things that were going on. So that was just like really like a call for me, like, okay, I gotta step away from this. Plus, it was falling apart for a while. People don't know that, but it was really falling apart for a while. Like, it looked so cute on the outside, but on the inside, where there was like members not getting along. Yeah. You know, there was teams trying to keep us away from certain people, but it was just so much going on. Yeah, Pride had to leave. He had to leave. He had to do that to get better. Pride, I think he came from, I think it was Philly. You know, he came to LA. No parents, nobody. Just started staying out in LA with us, developing with us. He's just a child ripped away from his family. That's already a lot in itself.
Yeah, that is kind of a lot. Like, at least all of them, they could go back to like their parents' house or see their parents every once in a while and kind of get that family feeling. But damn, Proud was literally so many miles and hours away from home. Like, he probably was homesick like crazy. And then on top of that, to be being mistreated when you that far away from like your people.
Now you're put in a position to be the lead. Now you have to carry a brand. Though we all carried it together, and the consumer eyes, it's elite. It's like the Mariachi. Yeah. So now he just had just so much pressure, and he had to learn discipline. We're 13 years old. You know how hard it is to learn discipline. We literally had books, like weekly books with new schedules that we had to abide by. Wake up, eat breakfast, stretch, workout, after workout, 3 hours at home school.
What?
After 3 hours at home school, go to the studio, after studio, do rehearsals, after rehearsal, do another workout, after that workout, then dinner.
Hell no, what?
We're like robots. So then we had to learn, after all that, it was like, okay, now you're going to roll. So here are your rules, you go on the road. You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, you do this.
Man, I thought being a child star was fun. This don't sound fun at all.
You do that, but like, there would be times where we're literally doing so many interviews and shit that we weren't even getting sleep. And I said we're 14, we're 15 at it. But on Pride end, I feel like he had to take on a bit more than us, not because of the league, but like I said, he was tore away from his family as a kid. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. He actually missed, though we all missed our family and shit like that, he missed his a bit more than everybody else. And I'm not really going to speak on his behalf, but there was just a lot of shit that he just had to deal with the team and with, you know what I mean, and shit like that.
Do you think that the fans treated Pride the same as they treated
You, Rob, and Grant. Everyone would probably be the lead singer. Yeah, he wasn't the biggest in the group. You feel like he was like muted, right? Like not muted, but you know, people just attracted to their favorites.
Now, I will say 100% this is true. Like, I remember being in middle school, no Prodigy was not on nobody's favorites. Like, he was nobody's favorite. Like, it was Rock Royal, Princeton, Ray Ray, then Prodigy. Or it was Rock Royal, Ray Ray, Princeton, then Prodigy. No matter how you want to do it, Prodigy was always at the way, way bottom. Like, Prodigy was nobody's favorite. And I do feel like it's a little bit of colorism with that. I feel like all the other boys, they looked at like they could be mixed a little bit. Like they had good hair, looked at like they could be mixed. And Prodigy, he was just, you know, the average black boy. And I feel like a lot of girls, you know, they didn't really look at him as like he was attractive. Like I definitely, like what Ray Ray saying is very, very true. Like I remember this. Like all of my friends, like they all liked all the other boys. They didn't really like Prodigy too much, and I just feel like all the other boys, they had that look like they were exotic or they were light skinned or brown skinned and they had good hair and long hair. And then there's Prodigy with the mohawk. Like, you know, like I feel like that's how they treated him, which is like literally so nasty, you know.
Everybody had their own style. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was the hair, you know what I mean? The two braids, the colors, you got the mohawk. Yeah. So, like I said, though he was the lead, he wasn't the biggest because everybody had their own thing. Mm-hmm. We're staying at R. Kelly's house. Right. And he wanted to do a few tracks for us. And I was so not feeling it. At this point, I'm so out of touch with the group. We're in the studio, and our Kelly's, y'all gotta hear these songs, man. Blah, 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 blah. I'm sitting in the studio, I'm not feeling nothing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. Man, you gotta get in the studio to do this. I'm like, no, I won't. This is me meeting Mike, and already they're talented. Yeah. Do not get me wrong. But they will never be mindless behavior. I don't care what differences me and the other members got between Jacob and I, or Prince and I, because we haven't talked in years. We don't talk. Pride and I, we stay connected. That's it. Rock and I don't care who got whatever going on. That's mindless behavior. Yeah, mindless behavior.
Yeah, that's a fact. I don't know why. You cannot replace the original members of a group, of a band, whatever the case may be. You can't replace the original members. That's never going to work. It has never worked. I mean, name the group. It has never worked. It's never worked. You can't replace the original members, bro. The fans will never recognize them people as the original members.
That's what everyone says. Period. Yeah, you can't replace y'all. It's like, yeah, we watch y'all grew up. Like we all grew up together. Exactly. So it's like, yo, no disrespect to E, J, and I, but that's like y'all just can't. It just can't happen. Yeah. No. Yeah. They begged me to record this one verse, and so I did. I recorded like half of it. I think I recorded for them, and I'm listening to the music, and I'm just like, this isn't me. Mm-hmm. This isn't me, bro. Like, we're talking about like getting a hickey on our necks, and I'm just like, no, seriously, like, I'm 17 now. You know what I mean? I'm 17, 18 at this point. What the fuck are we singing about? Yeah. We were waiting in scope, okay? And then how we got out of that deal is when Pride left, some grind shit happened, and so we were able to get out of that deal with no difficulties. You mind saying what happened in that grimy shit? I mean, it's up to you. Like you said, you know, you family, bro. Yeah, so if I'm not mistaken, I think they were trying to sign Pride behind our back or some shit like that. Mm-hmm. So that was a breach of contract, so we were able to leave. Mm-hmm. Right? Then we went over to Sony. And then there was a point where I was the only one not signed to Sony because I didn't like the people we signed to. They just messed up a lot of business for me. Like, there was a show called The Get Down. It's on Netflix. Yeah, it's based out of New York.
And I was a fan of this. I was a fan of this show too.
Audition, my first time ever doing an acting audition.
I think it got canned after the second season.
The person who was signed with under Sony just shut down. No. Every email they sent, his response was no. And then he had the nerve to call me saying they didn't want to negotiate. Then the same thing happened. A week later, I went out for another role for Static Shock. Remember that cartoon I showed? So I went out for the role of Static Shock, got it. He did the same thing, and that's when I realized, okay, I gotta go. Because he was messing up so much money. Like, just for the Netflix role, I think it was 13 episodes. They was willing to do like 35K an episode. It was just...
Did he say 35K an episode? Nah, me and management would have been fighting. You damn near would have had to fight me.
That's some big money. Yeah. So then remember Jaden was in the show. Yeah. So then they booked the lead role. This is before I got my contract. They ended up booking the lead role. They didn't have Jaden for that role yet. Well, I think they did have him in mind, but then they really wanted me. They was like, yo, we got this role for you. He's kind of androgynous, whatever. We'll pay more. So they went up the whole extra 10 years. He still said no. And I was like, I can't do this. So then it was all under Sony. And then I think eventually we were gone for so long. I think that deal just kind of went under the table. And then by the time the two new members came, we were kind of like independent. You know what I mean? Plus we pretty much had like the money to enjoy ourselves. You know what I mean? So it all kind of stemmed from like once Prodigy left. And then once that happened, it was almost like the contract. Plus I think literally the contract was over during that year anyway. Which is why he was free to just walk.
Damn.
Mindless Behavior continued as a trio, with Princeton being the only original member. In summer 2016, they released their third studio album titled Official MB Music. But there wasn't much buzz around the record, and fans had a hard time adjusting to the new members and numerous changes. Their music had taken on a more mature approach and had explicit content in the lyrics. The trio announced their No Parents Allowed headlining tour that was slated to start later in the year. But it was canceled a short time after the announcement with no explanation, and some speculated that it was due to low ticket sales. They even worked on an independent film called Misguided Behavior. But Mindless Behavior, as fans knew them, was done. They weren't young preteens anymore with an innocent image, and some of their longtime diehard fans had a hard time grasping that they were young adults now who were getting tattoos, having children, probably smoking. And now, one of the most popular members was facing prison time. So Mindless Behavior's spotlight continued to fade. Princeton started experiencing his own issues with management, and Mindless Behavior, the group, completely dissolved in 2017. Besides the revelations by Prodigy, not many details have ever been given about behind-the-scenes issues with management. But what is clear is that Mindless Behavior is just another victim of the ruthless, cutthroat entertainment industry. Their team went out looking for young boys that they could manufacture into tween stars and replicate the success of B2K. Then they turned around and disposed of the boys once they milked them as far as they possibly could. I've told you guys this story so many times on this channel. Unfortunately for the boys of Mindless Behavior, their dreams were shattered while they were still very young, and their parents didn't have any real knowledge about the ins and outs of the music industry. While I do feel sorry for every single member of Mindless Behavior, Prodigy is the one I sympathize with the most. His parents allowed the managers to care for their son and help him follow his dreams while they stayed behind to take care of home way across the country. He was overworked and mistreated by the team because it's so easy to take advantage of children when their parents aren't present. And sadly, he ended up being the least popular member in the group, despite being the principal singer that carried the group on his back. Typically, it's the other way around. He had to share the spotlight with 3 members who were more quote-unquote desirable, and that was the team's way of making the group more marketable. This has been a long-standing practice in Hollywood. Some of the members don't really communicate these days. Rock is still serving his prison sentence at the time that this video is uploaded, but he frequently updates his fans from behind bars.
And he's still fine.
I've also heard rumors that they didn't even make much money from their time as a boy group. The remaining members still continue to drop solo music, and Prodigy says he has since forgiven everyone. Maybe one day I'll interview them for my forthcoming series so that they can tell their stories on this channel. I don't know, what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like this video.
Alright, that's the end of this video, man. That is actually a pretty unfortunate situation, but we've heard this story time and time again with girl groups, boy groups, any kind of groups. That's just kind of how it goes. The industry takes these kids, milk them, and once they done milking them, they just throw them back to the trenches. They don't even make money from it. They don't get nothing from it, and it's kind of sad. I mean, dang. Like, I would love to hear individual interviews, like real sit-down interviews from everybody in this group, especially Prodigy, just exposing, like, going more deeper into the mistreatment and how management just, like, took them and milked them out of everything and then just threw them back to the streets broke and all. Like, it's kind of crazy. But yeah, that's the end of this video. That was the rise and the demise of Mindless Behavior, y'all.